Welcome to the second part of our normal 2HC guide for Antorus the Burning Throne. This will cover the bosses starting at Varimathras, going through Coven, Agrimar, and finally Argus. As per usual, I will only cover DPS and general tactics, nothing tank specific or healer specific that DPS don't have to deal with. Any mechanics that already occur on normal will not be listed. If you're interested, you can always check our other guide for Antorus Normal, which covers all the mechanics that occur on normal. In Varimathras HC there are only two differences compared to normal. The first is that the constant aura in the room that damages you will change throughout the fight. It will start with a fire damage as usual, and then it will change into a frost aura that will also slow you. Towards the end of the fight it will change into a fell aura that will increase the damage over time, which acts as a softened rage. As far as mechanics go, the only difference is a skill called Necrotic Embrace. It will debuff a player, and after a few seconds it will explode, spreading to all players around him. That will also give them misery, stopping them from getting healed. Make sure you pop a defensive and get out of the raid before it explodes to keep it from spreading. On Coven, every boss will have a different skill that it will use that will often overlap with Torment of the Titans, making it very difficult. Most of these new skills will make moving and positioning more difficult, which is especially challenging coupled with torments that require you to move or stand in specific spots, like the walking army and so on. The skill overlaps between the new boss skills and the torment is most likely what makes this fight the most challenging fight on HC in the entire raid. The first two bosses open with the fire and the shadow boss. The fire boss will put a debuff on players called Fulminating Pulse, which will pulse damage for a few seconds and then explode to everyone around him. Make sure you're not near anyone when you have this. The shadow boss will cover the entire room in a storm, save for a few white spots that are the safe spots for that storm. You'll have to stand in these white spots to not take damage. As you can imagine, this gets challenging when you have to move from the walking ads, or when you have to move to the elemental ads to DPS them down before they debuff. Finally, the ice boss will spawn an ice orb that will slow everyone and do some damage when it spawns. The further you are from the orb, the less slowed you will be. Also keep in mind that the orb does not damage anyone after it spawns, only when it spawns, so if you can move out of the orb quickly, let's say with disengage or so on, then you have no reason to move out of it unless you really have to move. If you do not have a disengage or blink, you might want to get out of it immediately in case some other skill happens that you have to get out of quickly. Once again, I want to stress that the skill overlaps are the difficult part of this fight. If you have to stand on the safe spots for the storm when someone has the fulminating pulse, you have to be careful not to get near each other. If the lightning ads are up, you have to be careful not to stand near each other and kill each other. If you have to move from the walking ads while either the storm or the slowing orb are up, that's going to make it a lot more difficult, so keep that in mind. On Agrimar there are small changes and a very big important change. The small change is that Wake of Flame will send out 5 waves instead of 3. This is a very minor change that you can easily walk around. The big change is that the transition ads will actually have to reach the boss and explode, because otherwise, if you kill them, they will simply respawn. However, when they do reach the boss and explode, they will leave a debuff that increases the damage done by the next ad. The solution to this is to CC most of the ads and let them reach the boss one by one when the debuff is off. Death Grip helps, Hunter Traps are great, Paralysis from Monks is great, Rogue Blinds, anything that can reliably stun them, hoot them, whatever, banish them, for as long as it takes for the previous debuff to run out, and then the next ad can go there and die. If you have absolutely no CC that you can use, you can also kill the ad, and while it's respawning, it's not moving, but that's a riskier tactic. Finally, keep in mind that the big ads that spawn in the transition will break the CC on the small ads and give them a speed buff and a damage boost if they are near them, so keep the big ads away from the small ads and also from the path they will take to the boss when you want to let them reach. Argus HC is very similar to the normal fight with just one small difference. In the third phase, when it splits into several ads, the two big ads that have the swords and daggers will periodically switch with other of the normal stationary ads. Also, when you interrupt one of the normal stationary ads, they will get an interrupt shield for about 20 seconds, which will stop you from interrupting everything else. Make sure that you don't interrupt anything at all except for Cosmic Beacon, which is the most dangerous spell they will occasionally cast. That was it for the normal 2HC differences for Antorus the Burning Throne. For more detailed information on other skills, please check our other video on the normal tactics, which is given in the speed guide, which will include everything that is relevant for DPS and general tactics for other specs. Leave any feedback or questions in the comments, and I enjoy your stay in Antorus, and I will see you in the next raid.